with Cleo Notcat, you know, she's not a stranger to the industry, and I mean, she's got me sweating here with the footwork battle. She clearly won. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Awesome,
Good.
man, awesome. So I'm gonna jump right into it. I mean, you've basically grown up in theatre, like you mentioned. Can you take us back to when you started, like how things started for you in the industry? Just a brief summary of that.
Well, basically, since I was a kid, my parents are in the industry. My dad is a drama teacher and director. My mom is a choreographer and dance teacher. So they were putting on shows like since I was a kid. I would be like at rehearsals at like 3-year-old, like all the kids like at the high school in Wynberg Secondary actually, they would like be holding me and looking after me. So I was like, I was just brought up around it, and they do lots of musicals and stuff with the schools that they're working in, or like just different shows. So I was brought up into that, and then like even when I came into like primary school, that was always what was my regular, like go to school, go to rehearsals. That I'm
like
not
breathing.
Yeah, it's like it is exactly. So you know the songs of everything. You like you know how like what your mom's gonna do now because she's gonna tell them they must do this, and like so you're used to it. Yeah,
In the rehearsal, yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
So me, my brother, and my sister. So. I was brought up with it, so I understood it, and like we would always watch shows. So like just family life became theatrical, you know. And then for myself, I was taking dance classes since I was 3, and then just like my passion for it started when I was young. I feel like I was forced into it because of my mom at first, maybe. I'm not sure. But I know, like, I loved it, and I was like, I was a show off when I was a kid. I remember, yeah.
And now you're so humble, eh?
Oh, yeah. I just know that, like, I remember being that kid being like, I always wanted to prove something, but I felt like that made me the performer that I am now, because I used to love stage and just being like, but I wanted to be like,
Yes, but Britney Spears like dia.
when I watch old videos, I cringe. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I've brought up like doing shows all the time, and like our studio always, it focuses on performance, not so much exams and stuff. So we basically would do a show in June and then a show in December, or like other stuff. So I was always on stage, basically.
Awesome. Tell me, so you went abroad many times before. What do you think we here in South Africa lack in that sense, going abroad? Because obviously we're a bit behind. I mean, what do we lack, and how can we, what can we do to get to their level? Or do you think we have something unique maybe already?
I think we have everything unique already. I think, and I know, and I know from other people also. I was recently having a conversation with a South African dancer who also travels abroad, and he was just like, Cleo, why are dancers here? Why don't they see?
That is why I'm asking. I'm asking that because I feel that we always look at that people and we want to be like that. Not that it's an issue, but I mean, we also have our own culture.
Yeah, of course. No, of course. And like when I was in New York, because I go there often, like I filmed a documentary there, and like basically what they were saying often is like, don't come here trying to look like us. Don't come to USA and try and look like us. You guys have something unique and we want it, but you guys, we don't come over confidently. So if you want to ask like what we're lacking confidence, because we have everything else. Like we have it all. It's just like the confidence to go over and be like, yeah, well, I do this or I do that, you know, and then present it like that and be unique. So maybe some of us are not as unique as we know we can be, because we watch too much of that stuff and we think, oh, we must mold ourselves to be like that to get there. But I'm like, no, you need to be unique, because then you're only going to be noticed. From there, you're going to be noticed. Like they sit there and they look at us and they're like, oh my, we're those guys. But we sit here and we look at them and like, because of media, it makes us feel like we're smaller, because everything is commercialized there so much that we feel like under the bottom of the food chain. No.
Can't we up it? Lovely. Tell me, then you also started Triple C.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is about. Like, what do you guys do, and what it's about?
So Triple C is my company that I started when I came back from New York. It's called Connect. It stands for Connect, Create, Collab.
Okay.
So it's just about like doing projects that connects people, maybe like dancers and artists, or businessmen and dancers, or like people from New York and South Africa, like connecting, just making connections, being that bridge that you don't see often, and then collaborating, same thing with those people, and like creating new things. So basically it was like, I have a lot of ideas for things like projects and like events or that type of stuff. So I would think of these things, and I never wanted it to be like, oh, there's something that show that Cleo did or something like that. It was like, it was never about that. Like I wanted it to be under a name that forms a like vision. You basically, that forms like a culture that starts to go, oh, okay, when that company does that, it's only because it's wanting to push this boundary or it's wanting to try and create a different platform. So all these ideas that I had, I was like, how do I do it without just being like, oh, I'm a person who just does random things. So I kind of created it to just actually do what I was passionate about, to do like, oh, I want to film a documentary overseas where people overseas tell us about, you know, like give us encouragement. But like, what platform do you like play that off here? So I created the company then to just like do these things that I had ideas to do. And since then it's built up completely. The team has grown, and like there's a lot of stuff that's on demand, but I always will stick to things that are unique and things that are growing opportunity. Like it started mostly from me just when I left school. I wanted to dance, and I was like, okay, cool, and I was teaching a lot. And for me, I just wanted to see people who don't have opportunity have opportunity. So
giving back.
Yeah, and like sometimes when we say like giving back, we see it so like temporary. We say like, oh, we're gonna go and do that event and, you know, and give back. Like for me, it was like I know I just wanted to see like that person was super talented be on the same floor of that person that's super talented, but they have that flaw because of how they knew you, and they could get there and they could and they met this person and now they're there. I'm like, but that person who has no way of even getting into a taxi to get there, to be there, to be noticed, to know that person, to even make friends, because they probably don't even know how to have that people skills, will never get there because of that connection that must happen.
I wanted to ask
you
about
know
that,
so like it was more like I always thought if I wanted to see that vision happen, I would have to like just be at those schools or be in those areas and teach and stuff, until I realized there was a lot of stuff I had to go and do, platforms that I had to go and meet, because I've just found like, whoa, like the way I've been and the people that I know now, I'm like, I don't know these people just for myself to be like, oh, I know so-and-so, whatever. It's not that. It's about like, oh, because I know but then they need people who's, oh, you, come on, you know, like that person and that person, like, you know.
I wanted to ask you, because sometimes I think a lot of dancers feel that it's all about who you know. And I mean, in a lot of industries, it is like that. Do you think it is like that, or are you trying to basically bridge that gap where it shouldn't be about, okay, I'm part of this clique, so I'm going to get this job? You know, are you trying to kind of just break that gap? Because it's about the talent at the end of the day, and not about, okay, you're part of my thing, so you're going to be in the next whatever I'm doing.
Exactly, yeah. No, I feel like the reality is it's who you know. Like that's the reality of this industry, the reality. But not, exactly. But then at the same time, the way it becomes a negative thing in this industry is because people keep it to themselves.
That's the thing,
so it's like, okay, cool, I know so-and-so, and they want dancers for that, so I'm going to keep it within my circle and whatever, you know, that type of thing. So, so like for me, I've tried exactly like that. I'm trying to bridge the gap with the people that the reason I started it, the reason I want to see those people come out to here, and like bridge that gap with, why don't they work with that professional dancer who they never thought they could dance with? You know, like work with them and learn from them. Yes, they might not be on the same level, but let's see, okay, this platform can have that opportunity, you know, like.
And exactly, like yesterday I spoke to a few dancers, and I asked them what are they like, what are issues for them in the industry, and the one said actually is that in Afrikaans, she said, gee vir almal 'n kans. She just wants everyone to get an opportunity, you know what I mean? So, and this is exactly what you are doing, which I'm grateful for. Like I never knew you were so deep. So it's really cool that to see that people are doing that, because I feel you can be so talented, but now that person won't get a chance because of he's not connected or she's not connected to the right people, you know. Obviously networking gets into that, but I mean, if you're not net or connected with that people, it's kind of difficult, man. But anyway, you spoke about teaching as well. So how did you get into teaching, and where do you teach? If people want to come learn from you, how does that work?
Well, I've always been teaching since I was like a teenager at our studio. So my mom owns the studio that I've trained at all my life, and then I got into teaching from doing that, and I always wanted to teach. I just believe not everyone is a teacher. A lot of people can dance and can choreograph, but it takes a lot to be a teacher. And like as I grew up, I think from my mom being a teacher, because my mom and dad are actual qualified teachers, so they teach in school, and then they teach the arts. So they are qualified teachers, so all my life I've been around teaching and understood the different things. And there's a lot you need to know, you know. And so I was passionate about it and I got into it, and then I got into it so much at one stage for a couple of years that I was like teaching everywhere. I was just up and down until I realized, like, what do I as a young dancer still want to achieve before I get stuck in teaching? Because you can get stuck in it and whatever, and it's not a negative thing to get stuck in it. It's just like,
for yourself,
you know. So I kind of swung the other way, and I went overseas then, and I just like gained so much and like just didn't teach. I like stopped teaching for a really long time because I was like, I just need to get better, learn so that when I teach I can offer a whole lot more, because I know that I can teach. So I don't want to get to the point where I'm just always winging it, and I know, you know. So you always got to like gain your own like knowledge, and you always got to be a student while you're still teaching. So I teach at my studio, which is the dance project. I've taught there all my life, and I teach different styles there. So I do hip hop most of the time, but then I do musical theatre, and I do jazz classes, and I do modern. So I teach there, and then I also teach like traveling workshops that my company does. We go from like Joburg with 3 dancers, myself, Bibo the Curse, and Sipho. We go up to like Joburg and everything. We come back down, and then I teach at some other studios. I teach at gyms. I just teach around Cape Town. Sometimes it's difficult because I'm freelance. I can't stick to a job. I really can't. So I have to like have replacements all the time. But
awesome, man. Speaking about jobs, you're also in the commercial world a lot. You do a lot of music videos, and you work on movie sets. So can you please share maybe some highlights of those that you've done?
I do kind of do commercials. Not all the time. I've kind of been taking a step away from commercials a lot because it takes up a lot of my time, and you have to go to castings all the time. But I have gotten involved in the music video industry in Cape Town, though, by chance, but also at the same time, like, I started to, if I would do work like the art, for me, this is something I said like at the beginning of last year. I was like, these South African artists are going up. Like these rappers, all these artists, they are going up. South African music is being played everywhere. It's like it's being exposed the way it wasn't. Yeah, exactly, the way it wasn't before. And I was like, okay, cool. So when they go up, so I always used to say this. I remember telling my dad all the time. I was like, they're gonna go up, but they can't leave us behind. Like they can't. And for me, I was like, it's not a thing of like, but like that, it's come hand in hand. Like if you take back to Masters of Rhythm, that like Clinch Group put together in Joburg, it was huge. But those same rappers that we listen to now and everything were asking those guys if they can be on, like, to perform. But it was a hip hop competition. It was like the dancers were bringing the crowd, and those people were coming in. Now they're huge. Now we're like, for me, I'm just like they can't leave us behind. No. So for me, I was like, I remember telling people, I was like, I'm gonna be that person that I don't know how, but I'm gonna make a connection like between the dancers and the artists, and when whatever the dancers want, so whatever the artist wants, like the dancers can make that come to life, because often it's like artists want something and they just want like the dancers to quick, but it's like, you guys are putting together art, but we are putting together art too. If you have that person in the middle who understands like, hey, these dancers can make you look fabulous, let's ta. But now music, that's music, that is dancing. So I become like that middleman when it comes to music videos here, some music videos here in Cape Town. So I work with a director, Carl Lewis, amazing, inspiring director of note, the best for me, done, hands down. So no, he's really, really talented, and he's got like a vision and a mindset that just like has changed music videos in South Africa. And the first one I did was I'd worked with Kuli Chana, and then he was like, yo, can you and some of your dancers come on board? And he's like, can you work with Carl? He's like, this guy I worked with on a music video once, you need to meet him. And then he put me and Carl in contact. He's like, you guys sort out what's gonna happen with this music video, tell me, I'll be there. So it was like, okay, cool, Carl, hey, what's up? You know, I saw your work, you're amazing, you know. So we worked on that, and like from there, Carl was like, from that connection. So that's what I say, sometimes it really is who you know, but then after that it's like, so Carl started getting really big with all the artists. So he only films on here. The people fly down from Joburg all the time and they shoot here, and then he just happens to like really enjoy my work, so he'll use me for certain things. And like so we've done like 2 of Kuli Chana's music videos. did Casper Nova's music video yesterday.
Awesome.
We did like Ifani and Chad did Don last week. Did
Yeah.
Casper and Ricky Rick and like their Fusak one.
Yeah.
And then I did another one, Jump, that just released now
Awesome.
with the Nati and CC and Cat. Just a lot of the people.
There's a whole lot of
Yeah.
And tell me, what must dancers do to basically get into that? Do you need to, like, professionalism wise? You know, a lot of like hip hop or underground dancers. What would you like advise dancers like that's watching? What do you do as an artist to basically step up your level to get into the commercial side, not just the underground? Yeah.
I think for sure, like. If it comes to, okay, say for instance with music videos, because I'll only speak out of that because I'm doing that a lot. So currently, if I get a brief, for instance, I'm like, cool, we need 10 dancers, they need to they need to look this way and whatever. So then I'm like, I'm not really going to be putting out a status and be like, hey, we're looking for it, you know. So I'll take it from the people I know and the people I've taught or the whatever, you know. But it's not just based on look. For me, I'm like, yeah, you got the right look, but it's very difficult when
With technique as well, yeah.
technique or either your work ethic. Like for me, it's basically like I know that this it goes down. Like you need to understand like say for instance, an artist like Casper trusts Kyle. So he's like, yo, here's my budget. Say it's that. Here's my budget for my music video, because they're making art now. They're making like movies out of this stuff. So they're putting a lot of effort into, here's this, Carl, I want this. Carl's like, cool, he wants dancers. Then he goes to me, for instance, like, we need this and handle that. So then you go down to, who does that guy trust down the line? And then you got to know, like, it comes down to work ethic in the end. Like your talent is going to take you so far, but your work ethic is going to make me decide that I'm going to use you, or like that you know, like that's a very important. But at the same time, then it's talent too. It's being flexible. It's understanding different styles, or understanding that actually we might be doing this, but then they might like put a mask on you because we're doing commercial stuff now. So like it's TV. They might like make you not look like you. Are you gonna have a problem with that? Like, do you know what I mean? Like it's different. So if you don't want it, you don't want it. Don't do it. You know, like. But if you are exposed to that and you understand that there's a whole world of like creativity that you can be a part of if you're open to it. If you work hard, if you're reliable. Reliability is like going to make me choose you over that most talented dancer ever, you know.
I'm with you.
And then being talented too and knowing different styles. Like there's some stuff where it's like we did a music video for a guy named Wouter Kellerman who's a flutist. He's a flutist, so it was a beautiful song. Just like a flute. It was a flute. He sat on the chair and he played the flute. And it was really cool, And he's a Grammy Award winner from South Africa, Didn't know, and I was like, and he's really big. And they wanted dancers just to create magic out of this music. I was like, okay, who do you use, you know? And like I remember using a break dancer, B-boy Bucks, and like he was just amazing. Like they put him in like a latex full body, like great thing. But it was amazing because it was like this flute music, so delicate, and you asked to like make magic. I was like, I don't know what you can do, but you're gonna freestyle and you're gonna b-boy in your little. But like I trust, that's the thing. I trusted him because I know he's talented, I know he's reliable, and I know he's creative. And like if you know that, like you can throw people in anywhere. And like it's not that people decide not to be creative. It's just like once you have that and people know that they can trust you with anything, like you're going to be used in those different things, you know. And that's something when you go to castings people can see in the room already. Like sometimes they've chosen who they want before it goes down to like the director and the whatever, you know, like they choose because they're like, oh, they're positive, like they walked in and greeted. They watch you, like people watch.
I love that you actually explained that, because that's stuff people need to know. I mean, dancers need to know, how do I move up in the industry, what do I do, you know, how do you survive basically. So like any challenges that you faced in your like a few that you can mention, challenges that you face, and if you can mention if you overcome a few, like I mean we all have challenges in life, so any few that you can share with us.
I'd say challenges for me at the moment, is managing your time and like being busy and trying to manage that, because you're dancing, so you're physically using your body, so you become tired, and we don't realize when we actually have maybe become really busy and really tired and we start to burn out. We talk about burnout as like, oh, I'm really tired. but burnout is a real thing. Like, it's a real thing.
Wow.
So that's a challenge for me. That's sometimes I you know, have experienced. And then I would also say, like, reminding yourself to be creative but know your niche. So there was a stage when I went through, I was like, why do I feel like I'm like putting so much time into, especially when I was in New York, putting so much time into learning this style, and putting all my time of my classes and things that I'm doing in that style, and then that style, like, then I started to think about, I was like, what? I felt this pressure at the time in Cape Town. There were a lot of hip hop competitions, and I felt this pressure of all these competitions, like, I must compete.
Yes.
And I was like, I can compete.
Yeah.
I definitely can, and I know that I can. And when I want to, and whatever style I feel like I can compete, and I will. But like, look at yourself.
Yeah.
And what is your niche? And I'm like, I love stage, for instance. I'm a performer. Like, if and once I understand that, I tune into my time being spent on that.
That's okay.
And that's okay. Do you know what I mean? And knowing that, like, and being confident in that, and like, not letting people be like, oh, but you know, why don't you?
You're not part of the. You're not cool if you don't.
Like, and it's the same thing. If you just compete and you don't like stage, like, that's fine. Like, once you know that, be you and go with that, and like, you find your path like that. So for me, like, that was the biggest challenge, finding your.
Because I think everyone like struggles with that, man. Like, not being sure, but even like, if you do theater, say I'm an underground battle dancer. If I do theater, knowing, okay, that's actually my thing, but I'm trying out theater just to see, and I'm not going to put pressure on myself to be the best. You know what I mean? So just being okay with that. Yeah.
Exactly, because once you you label yourself as a dancer, like, you need to know that you have strengths and weaknesses. And those people who come along into some audition and they're like vast legs and don't look at yourself and be like, oh no. I'm like, because of what society has told you that you don't, whatever, you know. If that's what you want, then go and stretch and go and practice and go to classes if that's what you want. Because they want it. Yeah, because they want it, so they have it. But you want other things, and they look at you, they're like, oh my gosh. And you know, they watch you do things.
They might not show it.
Yeah, they don't. No, they don't. Confidence is in the face. Like, it's but like there really is a confidence and a bravery in understanding your niche and being okay with that.
Awesome.
Like, when you know you can get better in other stuff. But first know you. Like, then I'm like, okay, I can actually be like a breakdancer now. I was gonna say beatboxer. Like, I can be like a breakdancer, you know. Because I know what I want, but I actually like that a lot. So I'm gonna learn that. Not like, oh, you know, that's really I should. And then you try that.
Like 10% of everything is not gonna work. Yeah, you know.
It's like, don't try and be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Just.
I love that you said that. Yeah. Awesome. Tell me just the last two questions. Cape Town Most Wanted, an event that you guys also host, Triple C also hosts every year. Just share quickly what it is about and when it will be, you know?
It is on the 10th and 11th of June this year. It's a show with the best Cape Town crews coming together just to perform. So it's no competition. It's just you bring your best piece and you perform it. Like, and it's basically like created so different crews from all different areas can come and share on the same stage. Like, it brings a lot of positivity to like the scene because everyone's working together, and at the same time everyone has their own opportunity for like to create how beautiful they want their piece to look, because they have the stage, they have the lights, they have opportunity to use whatever they want,
and you learn through it.
Yeah, exactly. So some people who've never actually been on that stage get to go like, okay, cool, what do you want? What do you want to do with your lights? Not like, okay, you must be here, because you're not in a show that everyone's telling you what to do. You're bringing your piece, your creativity to Cape Town for them to see this underground scene brought to like theatre, which is not that underground scene, you know. So it's like the magic of theatre, the magic of street being brought to the magic of theatre, actually.
Lovely connection vibe. Last one, any highlights in your career that you can share, like a few?
There's a lot.
Like three.
Okay. For me, New York, just traveling to New York and knowing that scene now and being like a part of it and part of that culture, like going there is like home to me now. But it's like one of the dance capitals in the world. Just that learning, being able to take that as my learning ground. Like when I get super tired here and I work, then I save my ass off and I go to New York to like stop doing everything and work-wise and just train. So
balance,
yeah, that's definitely for me. And then I'd say like, so you think you can dance? I was on season 2.
If you didn't know, now you know. It gets connected.
I was on that. That was a highlight. Like, just being on that show that show that you watch when you're a kid, and then you stand. The best part was I remember standing, crying when I get voted off, obviously, because like you don't know and it just hits you, and you're like, ah. And then you watch this like goodbye video that you've seen everyone do, like have their goodbye video, and you're standing there.
And you had one
in that moment. Yeah, I was like, I have one. Like everyone's watching my goodbye video. Yeah, it's sad right now, but this is
it's actually so cool.
Wow, yeah. Like, and then I just stood there and I remember thinking about the whole opportunity and everything. I was like, wow, huge highlight. So
amazing.
Definitely. And then for me, I'd say mostly one of my main highlights, one of the things that keeps me going, is the people I get to work with.
Sure.
Yeah, like I get to work with just down to like a talented dancer.
Yeah.
Like my dance, my choreography, even my freestyle, like is inspired by people.
Yeah.
So the people I work with, whether they're dance or not, is like my highlight. Like I get to work with some of the best people. I'll never ever want to change the path that I'm on because of the people I get to work with.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Joy, mas maka-inspire, you know, Nadi. Lovely. Like a last one, just share your social media. Where can people catch you on Facebook? And I mean, if they want to book you for jobs or come for classes.
They can.
That camera there, lovely. That one over there. Looking at you.
You can catch me on Facebook, Cleo Notcut. There is no other. That's a strange surname, so there's no other Notcut. Cleo Notcut, I mean. And otherwise on Instagram, it's at Cleanotty, CLEENOTTY. That's Instagram and like Twitter and all those type of things. And then otherwise Triple C, which is triple, the word triple, and C is all on Facebook and also Instagram, and then this website that's coming out now. So all the information's there.
And so you can catch you on there. Oh, cool. Actually, before the interview, I said that I wanted to call you out on a battle for Beatboxing Battle. Then I was making a joke, and then she said that she actually she can. But I still don't believe her. I still don't believe her. But then you can share your story. You can share your story.
I'm gonna change what you just said, because I've always wanted to, because I thought I can, and then I was like no. And then when I left school, I was like, I want to be a professional beatboxer. So I just felt like I could, but I always feel like I can when I have a microphone really close to my mouth, because I do like other stuff.
Is it?
But I don't know.
Let's see if we can do that stuff. I'm gonna start for you though. I'm gonna start. I'll go first because I called you out, you know, it's like fan feud. Let's go. Cleo, I feel you're afraid right now. Don't be bang. Now you're gonna kill it. You're just being humble. Okay, I'm gonna go first. So we're gonna go. Boom, 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 hey, boom, boom, chicka, chicka, boom, 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 doom, 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 chicka, chicka, doom, doom. Hey. Thank you guys. Let's go.
Oh, okay. I must hold it. Can I hold it?
You can. It's all yours.
Okay. I'm gonna catch the same beat. Okay. Okay. No, wait. I must warm up my mouth. Okay.
It's a professional.
Okay.
Let's go.
Stop.
But you actually have a technique. You actually have a technique how you do it with your mouth.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
I see there's something inside. You've got a special talent. Like there's something there. I don't know. I don't have it. Now you gotta go.
Focusing on it.
You're killing it now, lovely. It was awesome catching up with you, man. It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
You definitely inspired me. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And you guys over there, I'm sure you guys are inspired. So you guys keep on watching A Walk with Mel. Ha!
Yay.
Dance is freedom, it's exploration, and it's discovery. It's a place where I lose myself and find myself at the same time, and it's the best feeling in the world. It's a place where I can just be me and find truth about myself, good things and bad things, but it gives me hope that I can put in work and make effort and just be a good person.
The only style I live and breathe. Popping is my new identity. With this identity came confidence. The confidence to perform, to entertain, and to express. What does popping mean to me? Hold your breath. We have something in common.
Dancing is something I believe God gave me to release and express how I feel. It's my happy when I'm sad. It makes me feel free and just allows me to be me. Dancing helped me transform and channel any bad energy into something creative.
Hi, this is Marcus Makes You Move, co-founder of House at SA. With what I've learned overseas, I'm learning what SA culture has and combining the two. It allows me to work with different people from different cultures to understand their flavor and their essence and what house dance means to them. And that is why I started House at SA, to combine all that together to make the love of house much bigger than it is today.
What dance to me is feeling, expressing, never try to limit myself. Whenever you see me dance, you would see how my body moves, and if I smile too much, clearly that means I'm enjoying it too much. And yeah, dance is just, to me it makes me feel that we all need to be free and enjoy what we do.
When inspiration meets determination, aspiration and imagination, that is what dance means to me. It allows you to express and tap into things that you never would have had the opportunity to do. It is fun, it is joy, it is happiness, it is an expression. My name is Sipo Dita.
I dance for passion. I dance to tell stories and share experiences. I dance for love and laughter and dreams. I dance for oxygen. I dance for freedom. Dance has always been a way I could find myself and lose myself all at the same time. It's like this hidden language between my body and soul, and it just completely sets my soul on fire. When life hands me a bunch of lemons, I don't even bother with the lemonade. I just dance.
What I love about dance is that it makes me feel free and happy whenever I dance, regardless of the situations I face. It helps me recognize and understand different bone structures and people. What dance means to me is that it's a physical interpretation of sound, music, and instruments. It is a spiritual origin that ascends from deep within thyself and manifests. It is the embodiment of joy and happiness. Dance can bring nations together of different perspectives. Dance is what I am. Dance is who I be. Dance is my life. Dance is me.